Hi, I hope everyone is doing great, and welcome to our next Arduino Academy lesson. So far, we've learned how to get set up with Arduino, how the board works, and some programming. We've also done some hands-on stuff concerning LEDs, buttons, and a little with servos. Now we're going to delve into making sounds with a buzzer. First, we'll talk a little bit about buzzers. Then I'll demonstrate the circuit. Finally, we'll get into some coding so you can try this for yourself. Let's do this thing.
Before we dive into the circuit and the code, I want to say a few things about buzzers and how they work. Buzzers come in two flavors, active and passive. Now here I have one of each of them. And from the front, they look pretty much the same. But if we turn them over, we could see that one is sealed with a black epoxy, and the other one has a small green circuit board at the bottom. The difference between the two is that the active buzzer has a built-in oscillating source, so it'll generate a sound with just a DC signal. And this one here is the active one, again, by the way, just so we know. A passive buzzer does not have an oscillator built in, so it will not make a sound with just a DC signal. Instead, you need to use square waves with a frequency between 2 kilohertz and 5 kilohertz to drive it. The active buzzer is often more expensive than the passive one because of the built-in oscillating circuits. Now, for this lesson, we're going to stick with the active buzzer here. And later on, we'll learn how to make sounds with a passive buzzer. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the circuit and demonstrate it real quick. Hey everybody! This time we're going to do something that we haven't done yet. We're going to talk about making sounds with the Arduino. And if you've been using Arduino for a while, you know there's a lot of different ways to make sounds. We're going to start with the simple stuff. And we're going to start by using an active buzzer, which is this little black thing here. I'm not even going to bother drawing the schematic because this is real simple. We have one pin, or one wire rather, connected to the buzzer, and then pin 10. Okay, digital pin 10. And then we have the other wire connected to the buzzer and to ground on the Arduino. So to demonstrate what this does, I'm going to go ahead and upload the code here. So here we can hear it making a sound. And let's go ahead and take a look at the code. Actually, before we do that, you could use this for a lot of different things, okay? These buzzers are common in toys and such. You can use this, for example, if you want to make a sound when you or somebody pushes a button. Or you could use it on your robot to communicate some kind of event, whether or not the robot hit a wall or the robot when you first turn it on. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the code.
Alright, so here we are in the Arduino IDE taking a look at the code that produces this sound. Okay, enough of that. So let's talk about this code here. Let's go over it. It's pretty simple, and here we can see we declare an integer. We're just going to call it buzzer. We're going to call it 10 or set it equal to 10. And all this does is tell us that the buzzer pin is pin 10. In the setup function, we have one line of code. All we're doing is taking pin 10, buzzer pin, and making it an output. Then we declare an integer I, and we come over here to the heart. This here, these two for loops, is really the heart of this program. This is what makes the sound, these two for loops. And we can see here that we step into the first one, we write a high to pin 10, we wait 1 millisecond. Remember, the delay function works with milliseconds. It works in milliseconds, so we're going to wait just 1 millisecond, and then we're going to make that pin low, and then wait another millisecond, and we're going to do that 80 times. Then we're going to fall out of the loop and into this for loop, and we're going to do something very similar, only we're going to do it for 2 milliseconds. Now, the sound that we were making is pretty interesting, but it's not the only sound we can make. We might want to make different kinds of sounds. And there's two ways to do that. So before I could get into how to do that, I want to let you know, guys, I love music, but I am not a musician. I have like zero musical talent. And if I mix up some of the terms associated with music, like pitch and tone, and get them wrong, you'll just have to forgive me. So let's see if we can change the sound a little bit. Let's see if we can do that first by changing the delay.